Is we ready to go?
I grabbed it right there.
All right, Black Box Radio. We are in the box. I'm telling you, we're in Baltimore. It's a cool night. This is the KingHim Series, and I am Queen. I'm a host of Black Box Radio. We are a multimedia platform illustrating Black excellence. So tonight, guys, we make space for men, especially Black men, and that's what the KingHim Series is. But what is so amazing about this guest is his brand is loving up on Black women. So we had to have her. We had to have him. We had to. So uh, kudos, and this we wanted to say hello to you, Olamina Stevenson, Bruce. Say hi to the people.
Greetings, sis. Peace to you and to your audience, and I really thank you for the opportunity to share this thing. Because I just have to say, we have to love up on our women because our women haven't been loved enough. So let's make this thing happen.
Absolutely, I love that. I mean, what Black woman doesn't love that? So I was like loving her. Okay, so kind of first before we jump into your brand and what you're doing per se, let's talk about who you are. Where you from in Baltimore? Did you grow up in Baltimore? What's your story? Give us a little backstory.
Wow. Local Baltimorean, lived here all my life.
Hmm.
Born and raised for the most part in West Baltimore, right near the Baltimore County, Baltimore City line. Uh,
Okay.
went to public schools, graduated from Poly, went to
Poly.
graduated from Coppin, and
Okay.
just spent a great deal of my life trying to give back to my community. Um, care very much about my people. A lot was poured into me, and so it's my responsibility to pour back. You know, um,
Love that.
I am a single father of three children
Oh, beautiful.
and entrepreneur, and I own a home improvement company, and I'm also an author. So I like to write. So I like to tell my stories.
Okay. Well rounded. It's a big story right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll be able to get all that story into an hour, but we're gonna make it happen. So loving her.
Mhm.
How did this come about? I mean, just give us the basis. How did you come up with something like this? It's amazing.
Well, I first and foremost give um, strong shout out to the queen of my life. It was our love ship, our relationship. Um,
Hmm.
I read this book. Um, my queen, and the love that we share, and the love that we've poured into each other, um, was just the vehicle that inspired me to write this. She's
Hmm.
been beside, supporting me and encouraging me, and it's her love and her support is written throughout this whole book. Um, I conceptualized the book from looking at the letter from the letter A to the letter Z, and how I could use
Wow.
letter of the alphabet to find an attribute that could affirm Black women.
Love that.
And so, the book was written for the most part to have us as men look at how we can become our highest self, and
Hmm.
in that we bring the best person we are to the relationship and loving who the women that we have in our lives. And so the first attribute is authenticity, starting with the letter Z. And we look at authenticity and how I bring my most authentic self
Hmm.
to be what I need to be my best self and with the woman that I love. And that's what I'm encouraging men to do, is to be their authentic selves, to do the healing that we need to do, so we bring the best of us and how we love the women in our lives.
Hmm. Well, I love that. So the loving her better is something that definitely loves up on Black women.
Right.
So that's a beautiful thing. But it also has this component for men.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're talking about, to give them a safe space, because it could be kind of vulnerable, putting it all on the line for your woman when you're supposed to be the tough one. So how do you kind of service men when you're saying loving her better? Because that's who we want to love us.
Well, it's all about the safe spaces that we have for one another. One of the attributes is vulnerability. And
Mm,
can't be vulnerable, how do we get in touch and feel safe and be loved and be able to express our innermost feelings? And so it is in those places of vulnerability that allows us to share those tender those. I believe that men shouldn't have a problem getting in touch with the feminine side of who was within them.
mm,
We're intimate places when we're able to be in touch with that feminine energy that's within us. That's where we express the best part of who we are. That's where our emotions lie. And so as we become emotionally mature, the mostly
mhm,
mature we need to be, those places of vulnerability and places that we feel safe allow us to express our emotions, and to share how we feel. And so that's why we need to create those safe spaces. That's why men need to feel safe, uh, in the spaces they are with their women, to allow them to open up and be who they need to be so they can heal emotionally and feel safe emotionally.
hmm. That's very, very interesting. Okay. So the best thing you could have said, though, I have to kind of circle back to that. You said this was from the queen that's in your life, that you appreciated her so much
Yeah.
that you said, I got to write about this, and I got to use the alphabet to find out attributes, and then I got to help men love Black women better because I'm being totally loved. I love that.
Yeah, she inspired. It grew out the love ship that we had, and all
Hmm.
things that evolved, and how we've grown, the challenges that we've gone through and overcome in those challenges.
Hmm.
Uh, so too often we hear that our women make us better, and that couldn't be more the truth in my case. This sister has wrapped herself in me. I love her story, and she loves me for who I am, and we've learned to love each other unconditionally. And in doing so, it strengthened, um, and inspired me to write this love, because brothers, we can't do enough. We come from women, our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, and the women that I love. We have to raise them up. There have been deliberate attempts to destroy the relationship between Black men and Black. There's been a number of
Yeah,
negative voices, in the manosphere, that have blatantly disrespected our women. And so I wanted to create or change the narrative that said we as Black men need to build healing bridges to our women. We have to do better at loving and protecting our women. I believe it was Malcolm X that said that the Black woman is the most disrespected, unprotected person in America.
that's it.
We as Black men must do better to protect, see, validate, and hear our women. And we do that by raising you up.
Hmm. Beautiful. So when it comes to loving her better, what are you doing? What is like your scope? Do you do trainings? Are you said you are a speaker? How do you actually get this brand out to the masses?
Well, I am a certified relationship coach.
Okay.
And so, I primarily focus on giving men the tools they need to be better. I write and I believe that we as men need to take more ownership in the direction and the success of having healthy relationships. Too often we sit back and our women guide the relationship. And I encourage men that we can model the behaviors that we want. We can get from our relationships the things that we want by modeling the right behavior. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that saying, You can get more with salt, with sugar than salt. So the sweeter that we are, how we nurture you allows you to in turn nurture us. And so I really believe that men need to take a greater role in directing uh, what they want and what they receive in their relationships by taking ownership. And that's how we need to be better in what we do.
Mm, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you putting the onus a little on men.
We have to be accountable.
Mm,
Oh, if you are asking us to lead, if you are asking us to protect, if you're asking us to provide, we have to do that from an authentic place.
mm,
But we have to be our best selves in order to do that. You know, I'm not much into the submission part, all that. Women don't need necessarily to, because and I have a partner. We're partners in this. And so, but I do play a very strong role in making my relationship successful.
yeah, that's true.
And so, in doing so, I have to be consciously aware that I got to bring the best me in order to do that, and that's what I encourage brothers to do. There's more that we can do to love our women, and we're more likely to have the healthy, optimal relationships by loving our women more and by being our best selves.
Wow. So do you get pushback from men? Cause you sound very wholesome.
It's interesting because I find my brand appeals. Well, first, I would say that 60% of my book, women have a tendency to buy the book more than men. I'd say it's about a 60-40 split. Uh,
Okay.
the women buy the book for the men in their lives. So it's like, I'm getting this, and it's a gift to you, but actually it's a gift to me because you're learning.
Yep. Yeah.
But when I talk to men, I find that I encounter two types of men when I talk to men in public and when I'm at books, book spaces and doing book signings. The first type of man I come in contact with is the brother who thinks he knows everything, who think there's nothing more for him to learn. I always say that one of the men have very fragile egos, and there are those of us who feel that we've arrived and that we know everything. And so I've encountered brothers who feel they can't they are at their optimum and they can't learn anything else.
Mm.
Those brothers sometimes just can't be reached because they think they walk on water. But then there's another group of brothers that I encounter who are honest.
Mm.
They know that the relationships, that the situationships, they know that they've fallen short. And
Mm.
but we've had honest, heartfelt conversations with brothers that said, you know what, I've messed up. I didn't, I haven't been as thoughtful, or I may have cheated, or I didn't do this and I didn't do this, and they honestly know that they can do better. They know that they can hear their women better. And so those brothers have a tendency to say, you know what, I need the tools that are in your book because I want to be a better man for the woman that I say I love.
Mm.
So in the book is not only the attributes and the affirmations that brothers can say to the women in their lives,
Mhm.
but book, there's an exercise. So, for example, one of the attributes is quality time. And when you look at the quality time, there's an affirmation for what quality time looks like in a relationship. But then also there's an exercise that the couple can do together so that they can implement ways to do the quality time inside their relationship. And those exercises are designed to build better communication and deeper intimacy between them when they do the exercises.
Hmm.
For every attribute, there's an exercise. There's another chapter in the book towards the end of the book where date nights are very important.
Mm.
And so there's a segment in the book where I delineate 10 of the best dates a brother can take his woman on. And it also shows them how to do the date. All of us aren't as romantic as others, aren't as thoughtful. Some of us don't know how to put thought into planning a date. And so
Oh, yeah, right.
I help brothers in the book plan wonderful dates like couples massages,
Mm.
um, cooking romantic dinners, um, how to do, um, treating your woman to a bath and pouring a bath water and what that looks like. So
Mm.
10 of the best dates that a brother can do for his woman, and how to do the date is another segment in the book.
I like this book.
Mhm.
This a real nice book.
It's really interesting because as I was writing the book, again, I go back to my queen. I
Mhm.
you to run my ideas past her, and it led from just doing the affirmations, and then as I thought about it and I bounced it off her again, next thing I know, I was creating exercises for the attributes, and then we talked about it more, and the next thing I know, she said, you've taken me on some really nice dates. Won't you put them dates in there? And so then the dates got added, and so the book just mushroomed into what I'm hoping to, a pretty concise toolbox for brothers to improve their relationships.
Hmm. So wow, it looks like your queen guy. She got to get a writer's mark in the book. She contributed a lot.
Oh, she inspired it. I couldn't have done it without her.
Mm. Okay. And so you have this book as a part of your brand. What else do you guys do? Because you are author, and this book is available. Let's say that first. Where's that book available?
We can be found at lovingherbetter.com.
Mm-hmm.
Our website. On social media, we're also on Instagram at Loving Her Better as well. Please ask your audience to follow us. We put content up, on a weekly basis on attributes, on things that we can do, uh, on advice to do better, from quality time to healing, to seeing each other. All of those segments of, you'll find those segments on our Instagram page. Advice that I'm giving the brothers of how they can use and how they can be a better man in their relationship. So we ask brothers to you also see testaments of brothers that have given their best, who have purchased the book, and they even share what they can do, what we can do to be better, and why we need to love our women. So all of that stuff is on our social media pages.
Okay. So you got a lot of content coming out. So you content creating. Now, when it comes to like your content,
Mhm.
is it something that's unisex, or is it just for men to love women better, or can women get something from or ream something from? Or are you really, really trying to focus on men and having them?
Well, I'm at the place where I can't tell a woman how to be a woman. It's just not my. But I can encourage men. We as men need to hold each other accountable. We
Got it.
know when we're not doing right. We know when we're doing wrong. But it's our role, in my opinion, to nurture, to foster, to
Mhm.
encourage, but not to direct. And so I will do that with men. I think there are lessons and content on our sites that women can learn from. Like, for example, when I talk about accountability, okay,
Okay.
and decision making, we all need to be held accountable for the decisions that we make. We all need to take responsibility and take ownership of our decisions, and that is generic to men and to women. you know and so that's one of the things I think, that when you see some of the content, when you see some of the subject matter, it applies to both of us, because we're both trying to be in love. you know i
Hey,
I think
hey.
we're trying to arrive at love. We may have different ways or different paths to get there.
Mm-hmm.
We want healthy, quality, optimal relationships. Sometimes we take different paths to get there, but I honestly think we want the same things.
Okay.
We want to be valued like you want to be valued. We want to feel nurtured and special. the feminine qualities, masculinity is attracted to femininity,
It is.
and so we're here to balance each other out. And I think as we continue to build these healing bridges to one another, we'll see improvements in relationships between black men and black women.
Okay. I like your optimism. I really do. When you say relationship coach, is this for married people or people who are pre getting married or getting married, or just for single couples? When it comes to a relationship coach, how when do you get a relationship coach?
Well, a relationship coach is for the most part to deal with the here and now.
Okay.
And so it's to encourage you and have you look at where you are now, how to move forward in your relationship, how to be a better person. Where the difference between a relationship coach and a therapist,
Mm-hmm.
this has a tendency to look what's happened in the past and to understand what's happened in the past. That's not the job of a coach.
Okay.
That's the job of a therapist. And so I'm not a therapist.
Got
Uh,
it.
in my coaching, I encourage brothers and sometimes women who, because I do have a few sisters that I coach, but I encourage you to look at what we're doing now and how to be a better person than what we're trying to do now. If I find that, in my coaching, that I think there are past issues, if I think there are things that are blocking, if I feel additional healing needs to be done, then that's when I will tell one of my clients, I recommend you go seeing a therapist, because a therapist can help you get deeper into the healing that's necessary. So that's one of the difference between a therapist and a coach. The
So
coach,
you talk about now.
yeah, the coach is here for here and to encourage you to here to encourage you what's happening now and to encourage as you move forward. A therapist to deal is more here to deal what's happened in the past.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So
Differences.
that is a distinct difference. So if a single couple who's serious and the guy would come to you and to to be a better boyfriend or go towards asking to get married. I mean, why would a single people come to a relationship coach?
To be better,
Really?
a
To be
better,
better single?
yeah,
Really?
to be to prepare yourself to be better, and then once you're in it, to be
Uh-huh.
the best person, the most authentic person you can be. Because I mean, again, it,
Okay.
this game of love is something. It's a dance that we do together. Okay,
It
and
is.
when we do this dance, sometimes men have to lead and women have to follow. But
Mm-hmm.
we do this dance together, and when it's done harmoniously,
Mm-hmm.
we know how it looks and how it and the end result is something that we both get the best from, and so when I do coaching, I for the most part do coach most men, but I have coaching with some women as well. I think the things that I talk about benefit both.
Okay.
But again, I'm not here to really tell a sister what to do. I'll be glad to help her and see. You know what? For example, one of my clients wanted to develop a online dating profile, and she asked me. She asked my from a man's perspective, how do you look at my dating profile, and do you think a man's going to hear it? And I would give her tips on what I thought were the best things. And sometimes I recommend. I say, maybe you're saying a little too much here. Take a little bit out so a man can once you all go on your first date, you will have something to talk about, because what you wrote in your profile, you've laid out your whole
Oh
personality.
wow.
Give us,
Okay.
give us something to learn. Let there be
Yeah.
a prize. And so I encourage both men and women in coaching them.
Okay. So relationship coach with the online dating. What do you think of that? Or because it's everywhere. Everybody's online.
Um, we've we've had to change with technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had to change with technology, and
Yes.
I'll confess, I've used online dating before.
Okay.
Haven't
Coach. Put me in, coach. I see you.
Yeah, used online dating before. We didn't have a lot of success. Um, We did a couple dates, but that's now how I found the love of my life.
Okay, how did you find the love of your life, might I ask?
Oh wow, how much time we got?
Oh no, no, that's all right. I just wanted to hear what the relationship coach had to say. Okay, no, we don't need all that. So that's so you're saying online dating is thumbs up.
I would have to say it gives us more opportunity to meet people that we might not normally have met. You know,
Absolutely.
that's one of the biggest advantages to online dating. It gives you a deeper pool to,
Mm,
because you're definitely going to come in contact with more people that you would not have come if you're gone to a market, or if you're gone to church, or
mm.
to a nightclub. You know, the online dating gives you a bigger pool to select from.
Okay, so that's all it is a bigger pool.
A bit much bigger pool, and you also can be selective. Gives you a chance to be more selective.
Okay, all right, coming. I'm asking the coach.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, be more selective. All right, because I know so many people. I mean, I think that's the way to go now. I don't think anyone is doing. I mean, you see somebody out, that's good and fine too, but it's all online.
Let me say for you, I am a bashful person, and one of the hardest things for me was to approach a woman. You'll find that most men and most women may find it very challenging to approach somebody they like.
Men?
Well, for me, online dating gave me
Wow.
a window. It gave me the protection to to like somebody, and I wasn't afraid of being rejected. When I
Oh wow.
see you in the market, I wouldn't know whether you like me or not. You know, I'm
Hmm.
afraid to say anything to you, and my apprehension of being rejected would stop me from meeting you. But you don't have that in online dating. You could care less whether the person responds to you or not. You're not worried about the rejection that you may or may not receive.
That
And
might be too easy.
that that was one of the for me that was one of the benefits of online dating. It allowed me to approach people that I probably would not have approached in public.
Okay. So you could really tip your head on online. Just like everybody. See what happens. Wow.
You throw your wheel out and
Yes.
come back with fish. Sometimes you come back with nothing. But as long as we take the precautions that we need, we do the screening that we need. You always have to do those kind of things, the
Yeah.
checks and all those kind of things. But in particular in the age of COVID and how COVID had us in for almost a year and a half,
Mm.
I a lot of people turn to online dating to meet people.
Got it. Got it. So as a relationship coach, what is men's biggest issue? What do men come in for? What are they looking to do better in their relationships? What is the most prevalent?
I will probably say they're looking at ways, um, soft.
Hmm?
They're looking at ways to be softer, to
Oh,
be more, um, to be more intimate. They're looking at ways to improve who they are. Like for example, one of my clients just didn't. He heard his wife say, "We don't spend enough time together," and that was a complaint that he heard from his wife over and over again. And he just did not know how to make space, or he wasn't hearing his wife when she said, "I need to spend more time with you." And so one of the things that I did for him is we got a hotel room down in the National Harbor, and I decorated I decorated the room with the rose petals and the candles, and we did the
you
lawn.
did that for him? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did. I was what was that? I was Mr. Hitch there for a
Yeah,
minute.
you like Hitch. That's what I'm to say. What's going on?
That I did for him, and his wife absolutely. He learned how to put the thought into what goes into making his wife feel special.
Okay.
He learned some of the things that through the coaching. I helped him understand this is how we reach, and how we validate, and how we see what our women want. And it was from that one example that he and his wife improved the amount of time they spend together. he now knows how he now has heard his wife and how important, he knows that doing a date night once a week is something that they got to do, where they got to get rid of the children, and it's just no cell phones, no distractions. It's just he and his wife, and they've now improved their relationship, um, from kind of giving him that advice. He's now heard his wife, and he's got an opportunity to see what that means, and it was why it was more meaningful for her, and because it was meaningful for her, it improved their relationship.
So loving her better is doing field trips, setting up rooms. So you're doing it all. You're really doing the experience. You're giving the coaching.
Um,
That
well, I give more advice. If a brother asks me how do I do a romantic date, I'll be more than happy to guide that person through how to.
mhm,
This brother was a personal friend of mine, and so I did the extra work for him. But he bought the candy, he bought the lingerie, he bought the roses. All I did was when he took her to dinner, I went
mhm,
to the hotel room and set it all up. So when
yeah.
she came back, it was like, the room wasn't like that when I checked in. So when she came back to the room, the candles, the incense, the
That
flowers,
means he really thought about it.
I
Yeah.
just set the room up for him. Yeah, but he
Yeah.
did all the work. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So yeah, this does sound like Hitch. I love it. I love it. So that's one aspect. So I'm trying to get all aspects of the loving her better brand. It's very you have a lot of layers to it.
Well,
And
where I'm about to do now is I'm probably about to do probably either in March or maybe the end of February. We're going to be doing a master class,
oh,
an online master class for brothers that want to learn some of the tools in the toolbox that are written in the book.
okay.
We also are about to launch what we are calling Black Love Circles, and these
Wow.
Black Love Circles are going to be opportunities where brothers are going to come together so we can talk about our issues. And then I'm going to have another Black Love Circle where women can come together and they talk about their issues. And
Hmm.
another Black Love Circle where we come together.
Oh wow.
So some of the issues and topics that we're going to talk about probably is going to be an ongoing piece. Where we're
That's
going to be
a lot of circles.
these Black Love Circles. Yeah, but we need to come together.
Yeah, I love it.
To build these bridges. It's communication that brings us together. And the more we dialogue with one another, the more we communicate with them, the more we understand one another.
It takes a level of transparency for groups like that, but a lot of times you learn from other couples or you learn from other people, and you see that the things that you're going through are some of the disadvantages or advantages. Other people feel them also, and so I guess that's you learn from each other. That's a great thing having, but that's a lot of circles. But
They're needed. I will always tell you that I stand on. We need to preserve the Black family.
oh yes,
We need, and I will say the
I
most
agree.
revolutionary thing a Black man can do is to marry a Black woman and to raise a family.
Oh
Okay,
wow, love that.
that is the mission that I'm on, is to help us be better, to preserve our families. And then it's just not the relationship that men have with their women. It's also the relationship that the men have with their children. The
Hmm.
other book is called The Spirit of Fatherhood. And so my passion has been fatherhood, and then how I show up as a man in the relationship and loving our women. And so we have to do better. And so and we can, uh, because
Beautiful.
y'all just haven't been loved enough, and
Say it again.
y'all just haven't been loved enough.
I love it. I felt like you hugging me. I love it. So let me ask a question. How did you get here? This has to come from do you have a loving dad, or, when men have this much empathy and see past their masculinity sometimes into the emotional space of love and the vulnerability and the things that comes along with it. You said like your book, accountability, vulnerable, all these things.
Mm.
How'd you get here? Who in your life influenced you to be this caring and empathetic?
I would have to say that both of my parents
Hmm.
poured I will say that my mother carried me in her womb, and she listened to Roberta Flack and Dionne Warwick. My mother introduced me to romance. It was my mother who had a fireplace, and we sat down in front of the fireplace, and it was that space of getting in touch. I would have to credit my mother in the nurturing. Her nurturing side taught me to be nurturing. Um, and so I think that's where that comes from, because it allowed me to feel safe enough to get in touch with that part of me and to be able to express it. My father, on the other hand, was an excellent example because I watched how he loved up on my mother. I
Mm,
how my father was a provider. I watched when my mother and father were in the kitchen. I'm just a little boy, and my mother's at the sink washing dishes, and I watched how my father would, pull up on her and wrap her arms around her and kiss her on the neck. I saw how my father, you know, once or twice a month had roses on the counter. I watched my dad do those kind of special things with my mother, and so I
right.
had a good balance of
Yes.
watching a man love his wife.
Mm.
I also had a mother who allowed me to be in touch with the softer side of myself, and I wasn't afraid to express it.
I love that. And which that just so much defines what you said earlier, that the Black family matters,
Go ahead.
because that relationship you're just talking about is what has you here.
Hmm.
The empathy and the caring that you saw in your household. And that's why it's so important. We got such hard children out here, Brother Bruce.
And,
You
and,
know, they're coming from hard lives.
but I would have to say, we do have work to do.
Yeah,
We all have trauma. And
absolutely.
talk to men about dealing with their trauma.
Yes.
Until we deal and heal from the trauma, because who the trauma that we've experienced as children determines how we show up in our adult relationships.
All day.
And so if we have trauma to deal with, we have to be honest enough with ourselves that we got to do the healing in order for us to be our best selves. And so I do talk to men about, how were you raised? What did you see? How was your relationship with your mother? Because that relationship determines how you treat the women in your life. And if
Mm,
you didn't have a healthy relationship with your mother, you got to find out why and heal from it. We got to do the inner work to be the better person that we need to be in our relationships. And so we do encourage us to do that inner work to be our better selves. Until we do the healing, we can't show up our best. So we definitely talk about that. Not all of us had that loving family.
that's true.
Some of us, had trauma. Some of us didn't have those examples. But it's not to say because we didn't have this now we can't be it. We can learn it.
That's true.
So I hope loving her becomes an example of some tools that men can use to learn to be better. That's where we need to go. How do we be better?
How do we be better? That's exactly where it is how do we be better, and together too. A lot of times we're setting up over here. We got to do it together. And these relationships are very essential to the baseline of our community. I think that no think if we don't get our relationships right, our community will continue to disintegrate.
Yeah, we see women in their camps and we see men in their camps.
Yeah,
Can't solve problems like that.
absolutely.
Same camp together, working together to build these bridges to one another. We can't be in us because we're not solving problems because we're not hearing one another in these separate camps. We want the same things and we have to work together to get the same things. We can't do it in separate camps. And so I'm encouraging these Black love circles so that we can work together, so we can
Yeah,
serve our families and raise our children together.
that's very interesting. I want to check those Black love circles out.
I see some invites.
Yeah, that's what's up. And then one thing, as a community, we work well in circles and in the village together. So that's a good place therapy for us. you
Mm.
know. So making a love circle, black love circle. I'm gonna love that. Yeah, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So next, you said you're launching some things. You're launching
Yeah, well,
Black Love Circle. You're launching.
circles. You'll see that on our social media pages. As
Okay,
I think we have the first one scheduled. Um, I want to say for March the 4th.
it's coming up.
There's another one on March the 25th, and then the men's circle is, I want to say, April the 15th. But we'll put the save the dates out there, so that everybody knows they're going to be intimate. They're going to be limited to about 10 couples or 10 people of each time, because we want spaces to feel safe and for them to be intimate. You know,
Okay.
want them to be quality. And so there are going to be some small circles, and then, again, we're going to grow them, because what I plan to do is, say for example, we bring together 10 women. I'm going to ask those 10 women to go to their circle of 10 women, and then we do those same circle within their circle in their home, and then
Oh wow.
to the brothers, we're going to go to your home, we're going to invite your circle, and then we'll do the circle in their space.
Hmm.
So that's how we're going to do cylindrical circles, so to speak. We're going to build the circle out from the circles.
Build the circle out from the circles. Okay.
Yeah,
Sound like you got the plan. You're gonna spread black love. I love it.
can't do it by ourselves. We got to do it together. We're going to work together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We gotta work together. So also you travel a little.
Mm.
You've been to Africa.
Several times. I just got back from Tanzania.
Mm,
I absolutely love Tanzania.
do
Uh,
you?
yeah, and also just recently went to Cuba.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
oh yeah, I went to Cuba and Tanzania this year.
Oh,
Actually, 2022.
do you
Absolutely.
do your brand like loving her better brand, or that's just personal?
Um, it's personal growth. It's
That's personal.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I need to let folks know about the Love Camp. I am a certified coach through the Love Camp, and Sister Renee Miller. And Sister Renee Miller is having a upcoming Love Camp. We're going to be doing it in Massanutten, Virginia.
What's a love camp?
The Love Camp is the same thing I'm doing. It's Sister Renee Miller who is bringing us together. Um,
Mm.
you can look on my page for our coming Love Camp that's being done in Massanutten, Virginia. One of the things is the weekend of March the 18th through the
This
20th.
is like a retreat.
It's like a retreat. Yeah,
Okay, got
yeah.
it. Got it. So you go away and you do love you at the camp. You camp love.
It
Okay.
is a journey on self discovery.
Oh wow.
It is a Love Camp when I was in Tanzania, and there is so much growth, so much self-discovery, because we need to, first of all, we need to learn to love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, or once we love ourselves, it then allows us to extend ourselves to love other people. And the Love Camp are going to be retreats that Sister Renee is going to be doing. I think she's doing them all over the country.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in fact, I think I want to say in October, we're doing a Love Camp in Bali.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
And you're going to each one of these places?
I will be at a couple of them. Yeah,
That's
she's gonna
that's
do.
amazing.
I'll be doing workshops for her for men at those retreats.
Amazing. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So you guys really doing black love.
Oh,
So is this a cultural black centered camp, or are these black centered
mhm.
spaces, or are they just love spaces?
Renee will tell you it's about black love. We're
Okay.
we're not looking to separate ourselves from any other community, but we have to do what's for us. We have to promote and cherish and raise up what we have to do. We're not here to tell other communities what to do, what they do and need not to do, but we need to do for ourselves. And so our circles are for us.
I love it. I'm about unapologetically black. So I don't have to. You don't have to go through all that explanation. Excellent. So they're black centered,
They're blessed.
and definitely love qualified.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So how do we express Black love in its highest form for one another and to one another?
Oh my goodness, that must be something really good to see. You know.
Yeah, I would highly encourage folks to look into the Black Love camps that we have planned. I know there's going to be one in Virginia. We'll be doing one in Atlanta. I think there's another one going to be done in Texas, and we have a whole list of cities that we're going to be doing them in. I think there's going to be another one in Tanzania, and then I think that the last one of the year is going to be in Bali.
So is the love camp for single people or the camp is for people
It's
who are already in relationships?
both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because we are all there to grow. I mean,
Hmm.
um, I believe Sister Renee is looking to reach single people, but it's all about the journey that we're all on individually and collectively. We got to ride there together, But I highly encourage everybody to look at what we're doing in the love camps. Absolutely.
Love camp. Y'all look that up.
Yeah.
So going, that's on social media to see that, right? That's on your social media.
You'll see it
Making
on
her better.
you'll see it on my social media page, but then you also on Instagram can just look up the love camp and you'll see Sister Renee's information as well.
Okay. All right. Wow. So you're doing, you know what? I don't think I've had a king that is definitely so in love with the queens. So I absolutely appreciate that. Being a black woman, I know how it is that we don't get appreciated or loved on enough. So that is a true statement. And so I really appreciate you setting up something and actually being intentional
That's,
about not just pointing fingers, but providing solutions.
no,
That's what we need.
it's not productive to point fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Point finger, there's four pointing back at you.
Mm-hmm.
We have to look in the mirror and find out how we can be our best selves. You know, that's the best way to achieve the optimum love is dealing with self love, healing ourselves so that we can be better. We can be our best selves because when I can be my best self, I can give from the heart. Um, and a better quality me gives a better quality to my relationship and how I love the woman in my life, and that's what I'm encouraging brothers. Haki Mahabooty was a brother that back in the 1978 wrote a book called Earthquakes and Sunrise Missions, and he wrote poetry to black women.
Mm.
When I first got introduced to his work in 1982, it was his work and his love for black women that inspired me. Uh,
Mm.
I'd encourage you to look at Earthquakes and Sunrise Missions by Haki Madhubuti. It was his poetry that opened my door to tell me that black women haven't been loved enough. But it was also I had my giving my mother a lot of credit as well.
Yeah, I love that. And then, do you have a daughter?
You have a daughter.
Oh, see, that even culminates it all, because you're raising a black woman, and a father's love for his daughter is just ultimate love. So it all comes full circle, like that you so mushy and you so lovable.
I date my daughter intentionally. I know that I have to be the example, or I have to set a proper example for her.
Hmm.
Best to be the best man that I can be in front of her.
Hmm.
I date her. I open the door for her. I teach her how a man should treat a woman.
Oh, I love it. Oh
So
my goodness.
setting that example, I hope she'll make a better selection when it's her turn to choose someone in her life.
Yeah, that's
But I
what's up.
hope to be a good example. And it's just I have several step up daughters in my life as well. Well, I'm step up dad to some to the women. I love my queen. My queen has three daughters,
Oh, beautiful.
and I love them to death. And again, I'm hoping that the example that I set for them, and I hope that we're modeling the right behavior, that they see what healthy love looks like. It expands the example that we set. Our children are watching. I watch my,
Absolutely.
you know, and
That's
so I treat their mother, they hope they see that here is a man who has loved their mother in a way that she knows that she's special. She
Oh,
knows it's a quality man in her life. And I hope I set the right example for them as well.
listen, Bruce, I am so I feel so good with this conversation. Being a black woman, a lot of times we don't just get to smile from appreciation and love. So that's a great thing. And what you keep doing, what you're doing, keep spreading love out here, especially black love. Listen, we need it. The community needs it. Our children need it. Black love is important.
I'm just glad to be in a space that the Most High Creator has given me an opportunity to share my voice, uh,
Absolutely.
to help raise up, you know, black men. We need to love our women more. We just do, and I just can't say that enough. And I'm gonna go to my grave saying it, brothers. We need to love our women because they haven't been loved enough.
Love it. Listen, that is the jewel of the night. I don't even have to listen. I agree. Ditto. I love what you just said. That's what's up. So listen, I really appreciate you coming on, and not only do you spread love, you're so calm and you have such a soothing voice. I see how you can be a coach because your
Yeah.
demeanor helps a lot.
Mhm. I am a child of Obatala. He's my Obatala is Maori, and
All right.
represents calmness, and wisdom. And so I take pride and honor in being a child of Obatala because it is a soothing, peaceful, graceful, humble uh, place to be in my spirit. I think I've always been that way. Yeah.
Ashe. Oh my goodness. So listen, we're so happy to have you on Black Box Radio. You have to come back, especially when you're doing the Black Love Circle. You gotta come through. I gotta experience something like that. You said anybody can come, so I can come up in there and
You'll
experience
get.
Black love.
I will send you an invitation, personal invitation.
I love it. I love it. Listen, loving her better is a beautiful brand. Anything that culminates black woman's experience, I say, Ashe. Yeah.
Get your copy, brothers. Get your copy.
Get your copies. That's a nice looking book there.
Loving her better.
What it says, 26 affirmations.
6 affirmations men can use to love their women better.
Ah, that's sensational. Olima, I really, really appreciate you. Thanks for coming in and the KingHim series. You are a king. We appreciate what you're putting in the universe. Bless you. Happy 2023.
Appreciate you, Queen. Thank you so much for inviting.
Let's get them deuces. We boxed up and out. Absolutely. Don't go nowhere. Stay the minute. Don't go nowhere. All right, guys. Good night. Good night,
Night.
Black Boxers.